Hi everybody, my name is REDRUP and you're listening to episode 2 of the It's Not a Phase podcast. Today I'm joined by guitarist Erhan and drummer Julian of Heriot, one of the most exciting up-and-coming metal bands from the UK. On this episode we talk about their upcoming EP, Profound Morality, how important visuals and branding are for a band to succeed, being nominated for a Heavy Music Award, covering Machine Head and loads more.
But before we get into all of that, let's cover off the no doubt boring but important stuff. If you enjoy this episode and you want to support the podcast, please consider leaving a review wherever it is that you're listening to this. There's also a Patreon, a merch store, or you can follow me and the podcast on social media. All of the links can be found at itsnotaphase.co.uk. That's itsnotaphase.co.uk.
And with all of that out of the way, let's jump right into my chat with Heriot here on It's Not a Phase.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this episode of It's Not a Phase. Today where I'm joined by half of the brilliant metal band Heriot. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Weekend's coming up, so can't really complain too much. And you know, you guys are getting a lot of buzz lately. That must be pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty intense and overwhelming. I don't think we've had a lot of time to kind of think about it too much because we've been so busy. But yeah, it's been nuts, especially like this year. The last 3 months have just been chaos in a good way. But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, it's just one thing after another, obviously in a good way. But yeah, I can't even imagine how your brains are processing what's actually happening so far.
Do you know what I think? Exactly what Julian said is it's all just happening so frequently. We're just kind of rolling with it. So yeah, it's wicked, man. It's wicked. It's some of the press we're getting is stuff that we used to read when we were kids. So it's cool that they're talking about our band now. So it's wicked, man.
So obviously later this month you've got your new EP coming out, Profound Morality. How does it kind of feel coming up to now, finally releasing the record?
Well, I mean, we wrote it pretty much this time last year, but we didn't kind of finalize it till October time. So we haven't really been sat on it that long. Right. I think kind of putting the singles out gradually the way we have done as well, it kind of is really helped because we've kind of released 5 or 4 songs off it already. So there's a lot of it's already out there, which is cool. Yeah, so it's wicked that it has come around really quickly, but I think that's, again, just because we've been so busy. It's come around super, super fast. Yeah.
And more recently, you put out the title track as the latest single. What kind of made you want to land on that track as to also be the title for the EP? Do you think it kind of encompasses the EP and what you guys are about right now?
Yeah, I think that was the first track that was kind of almost there when we started writing the other stuff. And yeah, it kind of, I think it has, the EP, we wanted to include a lot of different elements that we have kind of touched up on, but we kind of wanted to explore in a more kind of flexing fashion. But yeah, when it came around to that track, it kind of just felt like I had everything that, we wanted to really show that we could do. I think when we first heard it in its full form, we felt it was quite an epic, and I thought it's a good way to end it. And I thought it's a good kind of, if you're going to listen to any of the tracks and wonder what the whole EP sounds like, I think that's a good flavour for it. So yeah, it's kind of a natural choice, really.
So when did the whole writing and recording actually begin for the EP? Because you guys, in this quartet iteration, you've got kind of started blooming through lockdown, through quarantine. So where did that all begin?
We started writing the singles kind of summer 2019, was it? The first 3 singles we put out and released them kind of gradually one by one. But the actual record, we didn't start writing until April last year. We literally booked a rehearsal space for 5 days, kind of just stayed there for that length of time and did it then and there because we knew we had to follow up the singles pretty quickly. So I think the pressure helped. Yeah, we managed to get it done pretty swiftly. The recording took a little bit longer because we did it in stages. We did drums first and then took 3 weeks and then did guitars and then took another month and then did vocals gradually. So the recording took a little while, but yeah, the actual writing of it was not easy, but it was painless, really. It was very, very quick.
Yeah, it sounds like quite a quick turnaround. Would you say you guys kind of work best when you're under pressure then?
Helps. I think, we always try to remain consistent and as consistent as we can be. The record's out April, amazing. But we're already looking at the next thing and how to kind of keep things ticking along. So yeah, we do kind of put that pressure on ourselves, and I think that's just how we work best together, honestly. think we were quite pleasantly surprised that the EP came together so quickly. We were like, wicked, we've got some cool tunes, and we were happy. Yeah, we were just happy with, how it came out. So yeah, on to the next thing at some point.
What track on there that people haven't heard just yet are you most excited for them to hear?
I literally listened to it again today for the first time in a while, because I hadn't listened to it in full. And like kind of there's a track called Carmine, which is like probably the heaviest on there, and that's not out yet. It's kind of a short ripper, but it's really, really heavy. So there's a riff at the end of that I want to do it live at some point, because that'd be cool. But yeah, that one for me.
Yeah, me too. It's really difficult to play, but God, I want to play it. I think when people hear it, they'll want to hear it live as well. So, but that's the one on there that people haven't heard that I think will go down quite well.
So you're ready to give yourself a bit of a challenge live to try and actually pull it off live then?
Yeah, I think it's mainly for Jake and Deb, because obviously they got to do vocals as well, and obviously they are very sensible, and they always think because obviously we never make music to not play it live. You never want to create something that's like it's just vocals all over it, but the guitars are just unplayable. But it is definitely difficult for them. So for me and Julian, obviously we're just playing our instruments. It's difficult for us. So yeah, I'm sure it'll come to light. You'll hear it for sure at some point.
So I think it's about a year ago now, almost a year ago, that you signed over to Church Road Records. I mean, how's it been? I know you in the grand scheme of things, you're kind of like one of the new guys on there, but how's it been with, joining the label? How did that come about? And did you get approached by any other labels around the same time and just, decided to go with Church Road in the end?
Yeah. So it was after like the second single or so that Church Road came to us. We did have some interest from a few other labels as well. But I think with kind of like Justine and Sammy being part of Employed to Serve as well, and obviously we were very new and we didn't, as it was our first time being approached by a label, even having that as a consideration was like mental. But yeah, I think we understood very much from doing the singles and things. It was very much a time for us to try kind of building a fan base. We wanted to kind of test the waters, see if people, did like the stuff that we were creating. Fortunately, yeah, people did. And we just wanted, I think, just a label that we would, they have like a good core fan base. I think Church Road, they've got their subscriber service and everything. And they've got like anything that they put out, and even before we joined, I would always keep an eye on, because it was just cool stuff constantly. Yeah. So I was like, look, if we can be a part of that, then wicked. And as I said, because of Justin and Sammy being Employed to Serve, and they understand more the dynamics of the band, they would look at it just as like a business standpoint and how money can be made off it. They very much have been wicked to us. And yeah, it's felt more like a family than anything. And this is wicked. It doesn't feel like we've joined a label as such. It's just like we've just got two great people on board who are helping us. Yeah, it was kind of, we didn't want to jump into the deep end and sign something that we'd hate later on down the line, just something like that. So we were always very cautious of that. But Church Road got in touch, and we went from there really.
Because you are going to want someone on board who's passionate about the band, not just wanting to think how many units are these guys going to shift when they put something out.
Totally. I mean, we've had kind of run-ins with people who have got in touch before, and you can already kind of tell that's kind of what they're thinking. And we just want someone who's stoked about the band. Essentially, you just want other members of the team. So yeah, when it came to Church Road, it just felt like a good fit, and they have just been wicked. So no complaints at all.
I think there was an element of trust there, just because they've been in a band for so many years and they've kind of started from the bottom, like we have. So I think when they were on the table, we were like, it just felt like the right option for now, which is wicked.
And I guess as well, because in the grand scheme of things, Church Road is kind of like a fresh label, but Justine and Sammy were part of Holy Roar before obviously that ended, so they know like the ins and outs and how to do it and stuff. So I guess that's reassuring, as well as them being like passionate about you guys, and not just team members but fans of the band.
Yeah, their growth has been so quick as well, like you said, like because of their previous experience. Like some of the bands they're signing now are like ace, and they're signing a lot of bands as well, like recently, like a hell of a lot. So it's really cool.
Not just in the UK as well, like they've got stuff like they've got Respire from Canada and stuff like that. So Yeah.
Yeah, it's wicked. It's like not all one genre, but there's a lot of weird and wacky stuff on there, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So a few months ago, you also put out your a cover of 10 Ton Hammer by Machine Head. What made you want to settle on covering and putting out that specific song?
So it was going to be a part of something else. We were asked to like create like a compilation, or be part of a compilation.
Right.
It was to raise money for charity. I can't remember what it was now, but it never saw the light of day basically. And we were sitting on it, and we really, really liked it. And I think we were just trying to figure out when was the best time to put it out. And had we waited any longer, it would have been, I guess, around the time that the EP would have kind of started to unfold and start to be kind of pushed and like teased, and whilst we were working all on that stuff. So yeah, we just thought, because we were thinking, we were like, how should we do it? We thought, oh, screw it, should we just drop it?
Yeah.
And we did, because me and Julie were really unsure about it, but the other two were really on it, and we were like, oh, we just came. Yeah. And yeah, people liked it. Machine Head liked it. It was just nuts. And it was really funny as well, because obviously where our music you could tell it had been exposed to like a kind of fan base that wouldn't have heard of our music before.
Yeah.
Because God, some diehard Machine Head fans hated it. But it was cool. It was cool. Surreal. Obviously the people that did like it.
What was kind of the worst, like, elitist feedback you got from a Machine Head fan then?
Mate, honestly, it was just some really, really funny quotes. 10-ton crapper.
That was my favorite one. That was my favorite.
That was the best one. Can't remember what other ones. But I think basically people didn't understand that this wasn't our attempt to make our version better than the original. It was essentially a tribute, and that's what a cover is. You try and make it your own, but you're essentially, dipping your kind of hat to the original. But they just didn't get it. Well, some of them didn't. But hey, Rob Flynn and Machine Head loved it, so that's all that matters to us, really.
Yeah. I think that, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Like a cover song, if you're just going to try and replicate the song as it was before, you're basically doing a karaoke. You've got to like put your own spin on it. I don't really understand why fans don't quite always get that. Yeah,
that's it. I think if you literally copy it as is, just down-tuned or whatever it may be, then fair enough, people can, I think, are more able to have that criticism that, you're trying to make it better because you're just trying to play it better. But just, I don't know, just try their own spin on it. Some didn't like it, but hey, our music got out to more people that wouldn't have heard us, so that's cool.
Yeah, you can't please everyone. At least, you'd rather be talked about in a good or negative light than not talked about at all, right? You don't want to be forgettable, right?
It.
So
that's it. Any press is good press.
That's what they say.
That's what they say, yeah.
If you had the choice to choose and, record and cover any other track, what would your picks be?
I'd want to do some like early Slipknot stuff. I don't know if we'd be able to make it work, but I'd like to make it work. Some off the self-titled record, or maybe Iowa.
Get a keg out.
No, yeah, we tried the kegs on our own EP, so I'd love to do more keg. Big yes for me on the kegs.
Do that keg. I don't know. Jake's really got me into like Godflesh, so I think anything kind of Godflesh would be wicked. But I always kind of worry about things like that. I'm just like, I'd want to do it justice. But yeah, I think a Godflesh tune would be cool.
We kind of touched on it earlier, you guys, at least in this like iteration of the band, you kind of, were born more or less in, the pandemic, and that's when you kind of like bloomed and stuff. And obviously the pandemic was shit, for lack of a better word, because, couldn't really do anything. But do you think kind of like the downtime for you guys allowed you to kind of like hone in on what you wanted Heriot to be, the visuals and the branding, the songs themselves? Do you think it kind of helped at all?
It gave us time that we wouldn't have had otherwise. Like, it was a terrible thing to happen, but like all the 3 singles were born out of that. And like you said, we had so much time to think of visuals and all the videos and stuff like that. So like it was a blessing on our end, really, in all honesty, as bad as it sounds. But yeah, it was good for us. And the only downside is not being able to go out and play shows. Obviously, that was a bit poo. Like seeing the online reaction was wicked, but it never felt real. It is just numbers and stuff on a screen. So when you can actually go out and meet people that care about what you've been putting out, like that was cool.
With the visuals and the the kind of the branding of the band, as you could put it, there's very much like a cohesive flow through all of the stuff that you've put out recently. How much kind of like time and energy and focus do you put on to the the visual accompaniment of your material?
We do work a lot on it. We've got Harry Steele, who is essentially our fifth member. He's done all the visuals kind of from like the reiteration of us. And yeah, I mean, it is there to complement the music in one way or another.
Yeah.
And it's important, it is like an art piece, and not just the EP, all the singles. We're kind of delivering something out into the world. So we make it exciting, through the audio, and Harry sprinkles his magic for the visual side of it. So yeah, we do take a lot of time just to kind of make it, make it different as well. Yeah, spend a lot of time on it. I think people dig it. So
there's a lot of bands out there, and you're going to scroll past a lot of stuff on any socials as well. So it helps to stand out. I think like kind of with the 3 singles, we did the different colors and stuff for each one, and we've kind of carried that on through the EP with like the orange. I don't know if we're going to carry on doing that after. I don't think it would work, but we do think about it a lot. Like we all kind of chip in on the visual side of things for social posts and ask to get everyone's approval before it goes on to make sure it kind of fits with everything else on the Instagram grid.
Because especially in like this day and age, people's attention spans are shorter than ever. You don't want to scroll past and see like, your standard metalcore band standing there wearing the same clothes. You want something that looks different and striking, especially when you've kind of got it all married together. Everything kind of in one single release kind of fits all around itself as like one whole piece. And I think what's good with you guys as well is it is kind of striking, but it's not like over the top. It's kind of like, easy to digest, but it's not, like I say, over the top. There's no like crazy things really going on.
I think it's just it's just important for us to stand out, try something different. I think the funniest thing that we were told recently is like, if you were to put our videos on mute, you might think we're a shoegaze band. It's hilariously accurate. I couldn't believe that. I was like, yeah, you're all right. But yeah, I mean, it's just taking the time to think of other things to do, for videos. I totally agree. I'll sit and, looking at TikTok for hours, like in my bedroom, and just scrolling through because I have the attention span of a goldfish. So taking the time for us to kind of create art to make sure it is, engaging and easy for people to digest is really important. And it's funny because I think when we started out playing music, we would have scoffed at the idea of, who cares? Just write beat downs and breakdowns. People will love it. But it is important. It's definitely become just a part of our identity to be really kind of like anal on that sort of stuff. Because I think in a way it kind of like shows the band's personality and kind of like what you guys are all about, and in a way you can kind of guess what you guys sound like by looking at the visuals before they actually listen to you. And you could like write the best songs in the world, but if you don't get people's attention to listen to it in the first place, then what's the point? Something's going to happen. That's it. Totally. We spend a lot of time on it, and the feedback we've had so far it's been really positive. We are treating this band as we want to go on, which is we would love to make a livelihood out of this. So we're giving everything.
And you guys, like, the visuals definitely have a part in it, but you guys have like blown up quite a lot over the past year or so. What do you felt like, and on your side of things, was kind of the turning point as to you getting this big rush of buzz? And what would kind of your advice be to any other bands that kind of like wanting to follow that same path?
For me, it felt like when we dropped The Spirit, from that point on, that's kind of where it felt like things were kind of moving in the right direction. I think that was the point musically. I think we kind of came together and we finally had, I think, what we wanted to sound like. And honestly, any advice is kind of how we're doing things at the moment is just remaining consistent. Like I've said it before, like we're fans of music, and what we love more than anything is our favorite artists and bands putting out music, and remaining consistent and constantly churning stuff out. It's difficult because we're such at the early stages. I don't want to preach and be like, I know what we're doing and I know why we're doing this, because I know we're lucky, and I know, we just got heads turning and looking at us because they might have clicked on a random ad or something like that. But yeah, it's just remaining consistent. I've seen bands before, they'll drop a single and then they won't do anything for ages, and that's not going to look good for anyone. And if people are following your music, as you said, short attention spans, so we know our singles literally came out 2-3 weeks ago, and even for us it feels like it came out 4 months ago.
Yeah,
so you've got to kind of be ahead of things. So yeah, we've got our record dropping at the end of April. It's got some cool stuff on there, but we have to now think of the next thing. So just keep grinding. Sounds so cliche, but it's worked for us. So just keep at it.
Yeah, music has a very, very short shelf life these days, unfortunately. So it is just kind of releasing as much as possible, as consistently as possible. And social media is absolutely massive. Like we wouldn't be where we are without our Instagram and our Twitter. I think like just make visuals mainly as well on that front, being consistent with the visuals across everything. I think it kind of gives you a bit of professionalism, I think, because like we are still completely independent. Like on that front, we don't have any management or anything. We do it all ourselves. So keep control of what you got for as long as you can.
Yeah, then I guess you have, obviously, like I say, you got the control of what actually happens, who you guys are, how you are presented to, not only just your current fans, but potential new fans.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like not having any outside influence for us is wicked. We can say yes to what we want to, say no what we want to, present everything visually how we want to. Yeah, and it's been really good for us. Like I don't think we'd want to change that anytime soon. I personally don't anyway, but
no, that's it. I mean, we've kind of found the identity of like what we want us to sound like and look like. And I think honestly, that's probably a subconscious decision to go with Church Road rather than some of the other like bigger labels that got in touch, is because we just felt like our art would be protected and they like what we're doing. I mean, they signed us on the basis that we hadn't actually written an EP. We hadn't even showed them a sprinkle of what was to come. So yeah, I mean, that was enough to say, look, they trust us and they trust our vision and what we're doing. So yeah, anyone who respects what we're doing is good in our books, but that'll always be something that we would hold on to.
Yeah. And you talk about, obviously it's always good to have something like coming up next, and you guys have already got quite a busy 2022 ahead of you. It's only April now, but you've got festival appearances at like 2000 Trees, Bloodstock, Download. I mean, what are you most looking forward to that's been announced so far in the year? What are you looking forward to most? Which festival do you want to play the most? Are there any you're particularly nervous about playing?
Mate, honestly, we thought we'd maybe get one. So we've been, obviously, I'll speak from my experience, June, and obviously I know she's got a lot to say about festivals and stuff as well. But Trees is, and we've been almost every year since like 2014. So holds dear. Download as well. Again, 6-7 years we've been on the trot. Bloodstock we've been to. We've only been once, just because it is quite far away. And who has the money for like 4 or 5 festivals? Art Tangent I've been to a couple of times, which I love. I think for me, honestly, it's just seeing the festival from the other side. Yeah. Like how many times have I been to the Cave in Trees, and I watched Turnstile like way back when, and I'll be on the other side of the barrier, like. And then Download is to see, like the huge festivals, like to see kind of everything from the other side. It's mental. It's literally, I'm looking at the calendar now and it's 2 months essentially until Download, which is crazy. And like, obviously we were looking at it before, we were like, before Bloodstock, which is obviously a huge Sophie Lancaster stage we're playing, like, we've got Trees. And I was like, that's big. But we're like, we can kind of use it as a warm up, but now our first festival is Download Festival. So it's
in the deep end.
Mate, honestly, it's mental. Well, apparently, as soon as the gates open, we're playing. So, everyone who wants to come see us could just run in. But for me, it's just I think just experiencing it from the other side. I'm literally gonna enjoy the moments as if it's never gonna happen again, because it's pretty wild. But I'll stop gushing now. I'll let you.
Yeah, I think like we're really lucky to have this many in 1 year. Like it's nuts. I think we're doing, is it 5 or 6 altogether? Got like Dominion as well. But I think like it's not a festival, but for me the Heavy Music Awards, I'm most looking forward to that this year. Like we were lucky to go last year, anyway, and we kind of felt like, what are we doing here? The entire time we were there, kind of just like it was just really odd. So like, yeah, to be lucky enough to be coming back as a nominee is just like wild. Like we were joking about it at the time, like, oh, we'll be here next year, and we are.
It's just genuinely like, yeah, we weren't joking. It was really loosely just having a conversation like, oh, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Yeah, and then we
do that more often. Do that more often.
Yeah, honestly, that's it. It's literally fake it till you make it, like manifest it. So yeah, we'll play with Slipknot next year. Wink, wink. So.
Yeah.
Slipknot will support you next year. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
I can retire after that. As soon as we play with Slipknot, I'm happy. I can quit. That's me done.
Maritime, mate. Maritime.
Are you going to be any moments where you think, if you bump into a specific band where you'll be a bit starstruck?
Oh God, yeah.
You don't want to fanboy a bit too much, do you?
I'm worried about Download, to be honest. Like, I'm a big Deftones fan. I'm a big Korn fan. So if any of those tend to be nearby, I won't speak to them because I will just gush like an idiot. I'll just look at them, admire them from a distance, I think. Yeah, like just to even like potentially walk into them would be like insane. Like the fact that could happen is weird. Like, haven't really thought about it too much, but yeah, that'll be really weird.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of bands, loads of days. And all the festivals we're playing. I know Deb, Lamb of God's like a favourite band.
Yeah.
We're playing the same day as them on the Sunday at Bloodstock. Basically, I'm more worried about my bandmates passing away when they meet their idols and then not being able to continue on the cool stuff we're doing. So that's my main worry. It's like when Julian said he's going to pass away and play Slipknot. That ever happens. Shocking, mate.
If we get booked for a Slipknot show, someone else is going to have to play drums that night because I will not be able to play.
Oh, no, we're taking your corpse. We're setting you up, mate. Don't worry.
just play a backing track and you'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Puppeteer.
And then I can watch the show from the audience as a fan. So
exactly,
win-win.
What else do you guys have planned this year that you're kind of looking forward to, or that you can talk about? I'm sure there's some stuff that you've got to keep a bit hush hush for now, but
I don't think there's a lot else really. After festival season, there's some stuff planned, but yeah, we're not allowed to say what they are, which sucks.
Yeah.
But there's some tours and things. I think they'll probably be announced in the summer sometime. But we're hoping to do some headline dates as well this year because we haven't done any yet. We're doing a release show for the EP, which is headline, but aside from that, we haven't done any. So it'd be cool to finally do a little run instead of opening a tour. So that'd be cool.
Nice. So yeah, it sounds like a busy year from start to finish for you guys then.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Well, as soon as the EP's out, we'll be getting ready for festivals and then working on the next big thing. So you'll hear about us soon, for sure.
Well, I'm sure you guys will smash it. Before I let you guys go, is there anything you want to say? Anything you want to plug?
Our record's out in 4 weeks at time of recording. But yeah, 29th of April is out on Church Road Records. We're doing a release show on the same day. And yeah, just hope to see you at festivals. We're doing lots of them. So if you're doing a festival this year with rock music, chances are we'll be there.
Yeah, and all I want to do is just kind of echo, just check out the EP. We feel it's definitely something like fresh that we're bringing to what you think might be modern metal. So love it or hate it, I think we'd just love to hear what you guys think about it. So yeah, check it out. We're always at the merch tables for any shows and stuff we do. So come say hey. I love interacting with people who like us or hate us, have heard our tunes. It's wicked. So cool. Check out the EP. Hopefully you'll like it.
And you're Lamb of God approved and Machine Head approved, so that'll get a few Malfanton for you as well.
Yeah, look, some guys do like it.
And that's it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of It's Not a Phase. Again, if you liked it, please consider supporting the podcast in any way that you can, whether that be a review wherever you listen to this, joining the Patreon community, picking up some merch, or just following us on social media. Any support, no matter how big or small, really does help. There's a new episode coming every Thursday, so be sure to follow, and you can also subscribe to the newsletter on itsnotaphase.co.uk. That's itsnotaphase.co.uk. Thanks again, stay safe, and remember, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle.